Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now, before we get into the show, first off, man, if you haven't done this already, man, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you're the first ones to know when my next video will come out because I'm here each and every single week. So make sure you hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. Hit the thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button. And then next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. You click on that bell. And when you click on that bell, you'll be the first ones to know when my next video is uploaded. And one last thing, don't forget to be awesome. So yeah, don't forget to be awesome. And yeah, man, sit back, chillax, grab something to eat, grab something to drink because you're watching the Ryan Awesome Show. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now, today on the Ryan Awesome Show, we'll be talking about AEW Dynamite for August 4th, 2021, Homecoming. So yeah, this is the homecoming show for AEW Dynamite at Daly's Place. And the show, tonight's show, it wasn't all that exciting tonight. You know, it was like the show, it was okay. It wasn't their best show. They put on better shows than this. But like parts of the show, it just felt boring. Like parts of the show, it just felt boring. But when we got to the Cody Rhodes and Malaki Black match, that's the only match that I cared about. That's the only thing that I cared about on the show. As far as matches go. And that was the main event. The main draw, or the match that was most important on the show was this match. Because Malaki Black making his in-ring debut in AEW Dynamite, so that's why I was looking forward to this match to see how Malaki Black would fare off against Cody Rhodes. Not only was I impressed about the match, but I was also impressed about what happened at the end of the match. When Black just beating Cody Rhodes in a quick fashion, man. I thought it was just a great debut match for Malaki Black, man. And so yeah, that was the only thing. That was the only thing redeeming about the show. As far as matches goes and all that stuff. But everything else, man, it just felt boring, dude. Like most of the other stuff just felt boring. But yeah, man. But yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, so we started off. So yeah, we were live in Daly's Place in Jacksonville. And so our first match was the Labor of Jericho, Chapter 3. So it was Chris Jericho, Le Champion Chris Jericho, versus Juventud Guerrera. And so the stipulation in this match was that Jericho, he had to win with a high flying move. And so Juventud Guerrera and Chris Jericho, they're actually two former rivals in WCW. So they have history with each other. And so yeah, so right after Juventud came out, or Juvi came out, yeah, MJF, he had came out. His theme music played and the crowd booed. And he joined the commentary team, and I was like, yes, more MJF on commentary, please, man. And so when MJF was making it to the commentary's desk, he grabbed the person's sign and he ripped the sign in shreds. And so yeah, and so that was it with MJF. So he joined the commentary team, and so Juvi, he unloaded on Jericho, and we had a top rope hurricanrana to Jericho, and then Juvi, he dove on Jericho outside the ring, and so we had a diving drop kick to Jericho. He kicked out, and so Juventud, he took control of the match. So Hoovy, he was taking it to Jericho, man. He really was. And so Jericho, to take back control of the match, he ended up knocking Juventud off of the ring apron. And so Jericho, he started chopping Hoovy. And so we had a diving crossbody to Hoovy. And so we had strikes and uppercuts to Jericho. And then Jericho fought back. And he had a diving axe handle to Hoovy, and he kicked out. And so we had a backbreaker. We had a backbreaker to Hoovy. And then Jericho went for the cover. But the referee didn't count. The referee didn't make the count because, again, Jericho, he has to win with a high-flying move. And so MJF on commentary, calling, saying that you can't win that way, Chris. Remember the stipulations. You can't win with this. You have to win with a high-flying move. And so so MJF and Tony Schiavone, they were going back and forth on commentary. So I loved it, man. I love their back and forth, man. It's really funny, dude. Really funny stuff. And so Jericho, he ripped that Juventud Guerrera's mask. So that's a heel move from Jericho, who's a babyface. And so we had Jericho. He locked in the walls of Jericho. He locked in the walls of Jericho to Hoovy, and then Hoovy grabbed the rope. And so when he locked in the submission move, I was like, man, I thought he's supposed to win with a high flying move, not a submission move. And so Hoovy, he grabbed the rope. And so Hoovy, he hit the Hoovy driver to Jericho, and he kicked out. And so MJF, at that point, he was losing his mind on commentary. And so Jericho, he hit the Judas effect to Hoovy. But again, he cannot go for the cover, so he didn't go for the cover. So MJF on commentary called Jericho an idiot because he was like, yeah, Jericho, you can't win the match that way, you idiot. You have to use a high-flying move. And so Jericho, he went to the top rope and he hit a diving Judas effect to Juventud Guerrera to win the match. So that was a nice move from Jericho, man. Top rope Judas effect. And so so Chris Jericho wins the match. And so right after the match, we had Wardlow. He attacked Chris Jericho, and he also attacked Juventud Guerrera. So Wardlow, he had a F10 on Juventud. And so Wardlow, he had knocked out Jericho with his knee strike, which is his other finishing move. Like when Wardlow wants to knock out his opponent, he hit that draping knee strike that knocks out his opponent. So he hit that on Jericho. And so right after that, we had MJF. He grabbed the microphone. He spoke. He said that Jericho's fourth opponent in the Labors of Jericho Chapter 4 is going to be Wardlow. And so, but there's only one catch to this. We need somebody that's going to call it right down the middle. We need somebody that's going to call this match right down the middle. And what better person than me? MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. So MJF will be the referee, the special guest referee in the match in the Labor of Jericho Chapter 4. And so, man, so that was it with that. So Wardlow and Jericho, man, I think MJF, he's going to try to, he will screw Jericho. He will screw Jericho over in this match. Or he'll try to screw Jericho out of this match so he won't make it to Chapter 5. And so, man. So, I am looking forward to that, man. MJF as a referee. We're going to see a lot of comedy in this, man. We're going to see a lot of comedy in the match next week. And so, that was it with that. So, the match, it did start off slow, man. Like, at points, it was kind of boring. And, Jericho, man. Jericho, he looked like he was running out of breath. He looked like he was running out of breath, being in the ring with Juventud. And, it looked like Jericho, he tried to keep up with Juventud. Juventud was moving a lot quicker than Jericho. So, Jericho, he was losing his breath. But, man, that was it with that. And so, so right after that, we had Dasha Gonzalez. She was backstage. She interviews the Lucha Bros. So that's Fenix and Pentagon Jr. with Alex Abrahantes in their corner. And so, the interview, it was supposed to be with the Death Triangle, but Pac wasn't there. And so Dasha, she had asked, where is Pac? And so the Lucha Bros, they suspected that Andrade and Chavo Guerrero had something to do with it. Because the same thing happened to the Lucha Bros last week when the Death Triangle was supposed to have an interview last week, but Pac was the only person that showed up. So, so the Lucha Bros, they suspected Andrade and Chavo Guerrero, messing up with Pac's travels. And so Andrade and Chavo, they interrupted and asked the Lucha Bros, like, hey, are you in or not? Are you going to work for Andrade or not? You know, if you're working with us, man, you're gonna become champions. And so yeah, so Penta says no. So Penta he says no. And so yeah, that was it with that. So the Lucha Bros, man, I'm telling you, man, they will join Andrade. They will. They will, because with Pac-Man, Pac-Man, with Pac is a type of person that should be by himself. He's not. He doesn't play well with others. He doesn't. So I don't like the pairing with Fenix, Pentagon, and Pac. It doesn't fit well. Remove Pac and replace Pac with Andrade and Chavo. You know, they fit well together. Pac has never teamed up with anybody in his career. You know, he has teamed up with people in his career, but in this current stage, no, he's not. He's not gonna tag team with anybody, man. And so yeah, so that was it with that. So yeah, but yeah, they saying no right now. The Lucha Bros they saying no to Andrade right now. But in the end of the day, man, they're gonna say yes. They're gonna turn heel. The Lucha Bros will turn heel. They'll ditch Alex Abrahantes and align themselves with Chavo and Andrade El Idolo. And it would have been a lot better. It would have been a lot better if Zelina Vega was there in AEW. That would have been her spot. You know what Chavo's doing? Well, Andrade, that would have been Zelina Vega's spot. But no, she went back to the WWE, man. Sell out, man. Sell out. So yeah, man. And now she's being booked to lose on TV, man. So yeah. So yeah, that was it with that. And so right after that, we had Tony Schiavone. He interviews the Dark Order, all 10,000 of them, man. And so yeah, so they talked about their loss last week against the Elite in that 10-person tag elimination tag team match. And so Hangman he had came into the room with a drink in his hand, and so Hangman he apologized for losing the match for his team because he was the last person to survive the team and he lost in the end. And so, you know, Hangman he told the Dark Order like, "Hey man, you know, this feud that I have going on with the Elite, man, is all me. You know, I caused this." And so he Hangman Page he told the Dark Order like to stay in the back. Like I could do this alone. I could do this all by myself. And so the Dark Order they didn't want to. They was like, "Man, we're your friends, man. We're your friends. We will always have your back." And so Hangman he says, "I think we're done here. We're done right now. We're done. So like, can you guys do me a favor and just stay in the back and don't get involved?" And so the Dark Order, you know, Stu Grayson and Evil Uno, they told the rest of the Dark Order like, "Hey, let Page do whatever he wants to do. You know, if he says that he want to do it alone, let him do it alone. So don't get involved." And so yeah, so that was it with that. And so right after that, we had a trios match. We had a trios match, and it was Daniel Garcia and 2.0, aka Everrise, so former NXT talent on AEW Dynamite. So that's yeah, formerly known as Everrise. You know, formerly known as Chase Parker and Matt Martell. They now go by Matt Lee and Jeff Parker. So they're 2.0. So their match, so they're going up against Darby Allin, who has Sting in his corner, versus and Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. So yeah, man. So yeah, their first match is against Moxley, Kingston, and Darby Allin, man. Yeah, so Darby and Garcia they were going back and forth at one point, and so Kingston he chopped Lee, and then Lee targeted Kingston's leg, and so the 2.0 guys they took control of the match during a commercial break. Picture in picture, of course, you guessed it right. And so Moxley he sent Garcia into one of the timekeeper guys. He landed right on top of him. The timekeeper guy was sitting, or I don't even think it was a timekeeper person. It was just a person that was sitting at ringside, you know. And Jon Moxley threw this guy right into the guy that was sitting in the chair, and he knocked the guy out of his chair. And so yeah, so we had Matt Lee. He was standing face to face with Sting, and he was marking out that he stood face to face with Sting. And so Matt, he was like, "Oh man, is this the real Sting? Is this the real Sting?" And out of nowhere, man, you had Darby Allin hit a tope suicida, man. Uh, Darby Allin has the best tope suicidas in the business, man. Like the speed, bro. Like the speed. Oh my god, and he hit him hard, man. He hit him hard off of that tope, bro. He really did. So yeah, so Darby, man, Darby has the best tope in the business. And so yeah, we had a hot tag to Mox. He took out everybody. We had a spinning back fist to Parker from Kingston. And then we had a paradigm shift to Garcia from Moxley. And in the end of the match, we had Darby Allin. He hit the coffin drop on Garcia to win the match. So Darby Allin, Eddie Kingston, and Jon Moxley wins the match. And that was it, man. It was a fun match. It was a fun match, but I could not keep notes in this match. Like usually with these multi-person tag matches, or these multi-man matches in general, I cannot keep enough. Like I cannot write notes. Like I really can't. And so yeah, but yeah, the 2.0 guys, man. Yeah, their first match in Dynamite, they stood face to face with Darby Allin, Jon Moxley, and Eddie Kingston. Man, what a first opponent, man. What a first opponent for them. So yeah, that had to be a feel good moment for those guys, man. Everrise, man. They were never booked. They were jokes in WWE. They were jokes in NXT. So yeah, they did not look like jokes tonight, man. They look really good against Moxley, Kingston, and Darby, bro. And so yeah, so that was it with that. And so yeah, so right after that, we had a backstage segment from the Elite. So that's Kenny by God Omega, who is the Unified World Champion of Impact Wrestling, the AAA Mega Heavyweight Champion, and the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, who are the AEW World Tag Team Champions, that's Matt and Nick Jackson, and the Good Brothers, who are the Impact World Tag Team Champions, that's Doc Gallows and Karl Anderson. And so they were backstage, they were playing basketball. And so they were shooting the basketball in the goal. And so the Good Brothers, they accepted the Dark Order's challenge for the Impact World Tag Team Championships. And so yeah, whenever that would be, I think yeah, it's next week. They said it was next week. So and so the Bucks, they ended up talking about their World Tag Team titles, saying that there's nobody left in the tag team division that can beat them. And so Omega, he talked about Hangman Page and all that stuff, saying that Page came this close, and at the end, he didn't make it. He didn't make the buzzer shot and all that stuff. And so, yeah, Omega was just egging Page on and all that stuff. And so, Cutler, you had Brandon Cutler and Michael Nakazawa there too. Yeah, Brandon Cutler, he grabbed a pair of scissors and he just cut the basketball nets and all that stuff. And that was it with that. That was it. And so yeah, so right after that we had Christian Cage versus the Blade with the bunny in his corner. So they're representing the Hardy family office. And so we had Cage, he took out Blade, and so Blade started fighting back. And then Blade he tried to attack Cage from behind while being distracted by the bunny, but Cage saw it coming. And so the bunny had grabbed at Cage's foot, and so you had legit Layla Hirsch. She came out and she took out the bunny and took her out in the back. And so we had a reverse DDT to the Blade, and he kicks out. And then the Blade took control of the match during a commercial break, picture in picture, of course. And so Cage he had dove over the top rope on the Blade. And so we had an over the top rope uppercut to the Blade, and we had a diving uppercut to Blade, or a diving European uppercut rather, to Blade, and we had a power slam to Cage, and he kicks out. And so Blade he tried to expose the turnbuckle, but the referee was distracted by that, and so he went to the other side of the ring. He grabbed some brass knuckles and he tried to use it in the match, but he got speared by Christian to win the match. So Christian wins the match by a spear, or with a spear. And that was it, man. I really didn't care. I really didn't care about the match, dude. I really didn't. Like I'm sick and tired of this feud with the Hardy family office and Christian Cage. But I'm glad that it's over right now, man. I'm glad that it's over right now. Because later on tonight he was being interviewed by Tony Schiavone, and he got awarded the championship title match against Omega. And so yeah, so that was it with that. So Christian Cage wins the match. So they promoted it. So they said Christian Cage was undefeated. So he's still undefeated, and so he beat the Blade to continue his undefeated streak. And so yeah, so right after that, man, we had a vignette from FTR representing the Pinnacle. FTR, that's Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler. And representing the Inner Circle, you have Proud and Powerful, that's Santana and Ortiz. And so yeah, they played the vignette, they played the video, and they were talking about last week and all that stuff, their tag team match from last week. And so They both said that this feud is not over yet, and they did basically just went over last week's match. Cash Wheeler getting hurt and all that stuff, and yeah, and they showed Cash Wheeler bleeding and all that stuff. Yeah, it was nasty, man. It really was, bro. So yeah, I'm glad that he is okay, man. I'm glad that he is okay. I don't know when he's gonna be back, but man, that was scary, man. That really was, bro. Like this dude was literally bleeding. He was literally bleeding out his arm, and you saw the blood. You saw that puddle of blood on that floor, man. It was nasty, man. Really nasty. But yeah, we will see a rematch with these guys, bro. FTR and Santana and Ortiz, bro. My top tag teams, man. FTR being my number one favorite tag team. The only NXT tag team champions, only SmackDown tag team champions, Raw tag team champions, and AEW World Tag Team Champions, the Revival, FTR. So yeah, so that was it with that. And so right after that, we had Tony Schiavone. He interviews Dr. Britt Baker D.M.D, who is the AEW Women's World Champion, with Rebel in her corner. And so Baker, she talked about winning the AEW Women's Championship in Daly's place from Nyla Rose. And so Red Velvet, she had interrupted Dr. Britt Baker. And so Dr. Britt Baker, who she was wearing red. Dr. Britt Baker was. And so Red Velvet, she says that she tells Britt Baker like, "Hey, red is not your color." And so Red Velvet, she had challenged Britt Baker for the championship. And so Baker said that, I beat you. I've beaten you before. I've beaten you in 3 minutes here in Daly's place. And so Velvet, she says that, you think that makes you feel good? I was an enhancement talent then when you beat me in 3 minutes. And now I'm a different person. I'm a different person than I was back then. And so, yeah, so Baker, she said that, you know, that she will defend her championship next week. And she said that she's Tony Khan's golden girl. So yeah, so next Friday at Rampage. So Dr. Britt Baker, she said she would defend her championship next Friday at Rampage. And she will be putting the title on the line against Red Velvet and Rampage in Pittsburgh. So Dr. Britt Baker's hometown, Pittsburgh. So next Friday we going to Britsburg. So Britsburg. So yeah, Britt Baker, she's gonna get cheered, heavily cheered, man. She's heavily cheered now. Now in her hometown, man, she's gonna be even more cheered, man. It is her home turf, and I say Red Velvet, she's gonna get booed. She really is. She's a babyface, but she's gonna get booed. Red Velvet. And so yeah, so right after that, man, we had Britt Baker. She put her hand out. She tried to shake Red Velvet's hand, but Velvet had kicked Britt Baker's hand out of the way. And so Rebel from behind, she swung her crutch at Red Velvet, but Red Velvet saw it coming, so she ducked. And so she started, attacking Rebel. And so Baker from behind, she had gave Red Velvet a curb stomp. And so Baker, she choked Velvet out with the crutch that Rebel had. And so yeah, man, that was pretty much it with that. So yeah, so next week Velvet versus Baker, and next week at Britsburg or Pittsburgh, whatever you want to call it, Britsburg, in our hometown. And so yeah, so of course Britt Baker is gonna win. She's gonna win, and who's our next challenger? I'm going with Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa might be our next challenger, man. Possibly at All Out. Possibly at All Out. Now, will she win the championship from Britt Baker? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Or maybe Britt Baker retains the championship so she can get her win back over Thunder Rosa, even though the win doesn't count. Even though the win doesn't count in that lights out match that they had, that unsanctioned match that they had a couple of months ago. But yeah, man, that was it with that. So yeah, so right after that we had Dasha and Gonzalez. She interviews Andrade El Idolo, and so yeah, so Chavo Guerrero, he came out and he said that, even though the Lucha Brothers, they can't work for Andrade, but Chavo said that he found somebody who will work for Andrade. And so out came Fuego del Sol, Fuego del Mother freaking Cell. Man, he came out and the crowd had popped, man. They cheered for Fuego. Fuego is over, man. He is over. And so yeah, so Chavo he had ordered Fuego to shine Andrade's shoes. And so Fuego he said that, hey, that's not what I agreed. It's not what I agreed to. I thought you guys were gonna give me another job. And so Chavo he had told Fuego, listen man, the job changed. It changed. And so right after that we had Andrade, he attacked Fuego. And so at that point I was like, no, not Fuego. Like they took out Fuego. So yeah, this is Fuego's second week in a row to being taken out. So last week he got hit with a black mass from Black. And then now this week he got attacked by Andrade. So yeah, so Chavo he had looked into the camera. He said that if the Lucha Bros keep working with or working 4-pack, then they'll never be the champions. They'll never be champions in AEW. And so yeah, that was it with that. And so right after that we had Tony Schiavone. He interviews Hangman Adam Page. And so before Page could even talk, we had the Elite. They interrupted Page. And so Page had cut them off because, they cut him off. And so Page, he had something to say. And so the Elite had gotten the ring. And so they cut him off again. And so Omega, he called Page Hanger. Listen, Hanger. And so Omega, he thought that Page was going to join back. He thought that Page was going to join the Elite again. He thought he was going to join or rejoin the Elite. And so Page said, no, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. And so Omega, he had called Page a tryhard. That's a word I never heard in a while. They used to use that word a lot in Call of Duty. We used to play Call of Duty back in the day. They used to say that word a lot. He's a tryhard. But yeah, anyway, we had Omega. He said that, Page, you don't fit the Elite anymore. The Elite, we don't have any losers. We're all champions and all that stuff. And so he basically called Page a loser and all that stuff. So Page, he did not like that, and so Page, he took out Omega. I think he slapped him in his face because I heard a slap, so it looked like sounded like he slapped him right in the face. And so the Elite had gained up on Page, because they were all in the ring. And so we had a magic killer to Page from the Good Brothers. And so you had Kenny Omega on the mic. He was yelling at Page and all that stuff, directing the traffic with the Elite. And so we had the rest of the Dark Order. They came out. And so you had Stu Grayson and Evil Uno. They held back the rest of the Dark Order. And so the rest of the Dark Order, they got mad at Evil Uno and Stu Grayson for holding them back. And so the Dark Order, they were pushing and shoving each other and all that stuff. And so Evil Uno and Stu Grayson took them to the back. And so Page, so we had Omega. He was talking on the mic again, yelling at Page, yelling at the Young Bucks to hit the B trigger on, not the B trigger, the BTE trigger on Page. So Omega ordered the Bucks to hit the BTE trigger on Page, like over and over and over again. And so they hit it over and over and over again. And so Frankie Kazarian, you had the Elite Hunter or the Elite Killer, whatever you want to call him. So you had the Elite Hunter, Frankie Kazarian. He came out to try to even up the odds, but he failed. He could not. And so Omega yells at Page and on a microphone saying that you'll never hold this championship. The AEW World Championship is a title that you'll never win. And so Omega, he had bashed Page over the head with the AEW World Championship. And so yeah, that was it with that. So yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with Page now. Like I really don't know. He cannot challenge for the championship anymore. He can't challenge for the championship right now. He lost his opportunity. He and the Dark Order lost their opportunities for their respective championships. So what exactly are they gonna do now that he can't challenge for the championship? I don't even know, because Page is the guy. He is the guy that's gonna beat Omega for the championship. We all know this, but how are we gonna get to that part? How they gonna be able to tell that story when he lost his stipulation? Like you can't challenge for the championship. But yeah, man. Yeah, that's the one question I have. He might find a way to get in this match, or they might find a way to get him into this match. But yeah, I don't know, but we have to wait and see, man. And so yeah, so right after that we had a vignette from Dan Lambert. And so that was the guy that got taken out by Lance Archer a couple of weeks back. And so I think when they were first live, I think they had that Road Rager show. I think he showed up and he got attacked by Lance Archer. and because Dan Lambert he was talking about AEW, saying that AEW sucks and all that stuff. And so RJ had came out and gave him a blackout and all that. And so this time Dan Lambert he says that he's gonna show up at Dynamite, but this time he has backup for Lance Archer in case something goes on if Lance Archer put his hands on him again. And so yeah, man, that was it with that. And so yeah, so right after that we had the TNT Championship match, and it was Lee Johnson versus God's favorite champion, the Redeemer, the TNT champion, Miro. And so yeah, man, I'm loving his entrance music, man. I'm loving Miro's theme music. The more and more I hear it, I'm loving it, man. It just fits his current character, man, that he has right now. And so yeah, they had to get rid of that his original theme music that he had, saying that he's the best man and all that stuff. They had to get rid of that stuff because he's not the best man anymore for Kip Sabian. And the wedding already happened and all that. So he had to get rid of that theme song that he had before. And so yeah, man. So Miro he used his power against Lee, and then Lee started fighting back. And so we had a spinning Uranagi slam to Lee, and then we had the game over. So Miro tried to end the match quickly. He tried to end it early. And so he went for the game over submission move, but Lee he had slid out of the ring, so he saw it coming. He knew what was coming. And so Miro took control of the match during a commercial break, picture in picture. Of course, you guessed it right. And then we had a DDT counter. So Lee he had countered with a DDT on Miro, so he had kicks to Miro. We had two tope suicidas. We had two tope suicidas to Miro, followed up by a tope con hero to Miro. And so we had a diving crossbody to Miro. He kicks out at one. And then we had super kicks to Miro. He's still standing up. And we had a frog splash to Miro, and he kicks out. And then Miro, he had the Machka kick to Lee. And to end the match, we had Miro, he locked in a game over submission move to Lee. So Lee passed out. So therefore, Miro wins the match and is still the TNT champion. So yeah, man, that was it right there, man. Dominant win for Miro, man. Again, I'm loving the way they booking Miro. He's the best right now. TNT champion, dominant TNT champion. And man, this is the Miro that we wanted, man. This is the Miro that we always wanted and that we cried for, man. This is the Miro that we cried for. And they doing a damn great job, man, at booking Miro right now. He is like the dude is unstoppable, man. He is unstoppable. Every title defense, he has looked dominant after all of them. He beat Lance Archer, bro. He beat Lance Archer. He passed out Lance Archer. So yeah, man, Miro's on top of the world, man. He is in like he's on the top right now. He's at the top, bro. But he is missing one person, man. He's missing Lana, his wife Lana. We need Lana in AEW, man, as a manager, not a wrestler, a manager for Miro. And so yeah, man. He's doing good on his own right now, but he still needs Lana. But yeah, so yeah, that was it with that. So Lana, she will go to AEW, man. She is coming to AEW. I don't know when her 90-day no compete clause ends, but when it ends, she's going straight to AEW. And so yeah, man. So that was it with that. And so right after that, we had Tony Schiavone. He interviews Christian Cage. So yeah, so of course, as mentioned earlier, Christian Cage is undefeated, and so therefore Christian Cage is the new number one contender. So he became the number one contender right after beating the Blade tonight. And so Schiavone he mentioned Layla Hirsch, helping him out earlier in the match. And so Schiavone had asked like, "Hey, Layla Hirsch helped you out earlier. Will you go and help her out in her match?" And so Christian he started singing what's the name of that song? Thank You for Being a Friend. Like he sung it and the crowd was singing along with him too. And so yeah, so yeah, Hirsch he said that Hirsch has best friends in our corner. So the best friends was he said that Hirsch had best friends in her corner for a match later on tonight. And so yeah, so Cage he has said that, he came back to AEW to win the world championship. He's back to win championships. Something that was taken away from him 7 years ago. And so Christian he has says that he is elite. And so yeah, one word that describes himself is elite. At first I thought he was gonna say awesome. Because he and Edge call themselves the awesome ones or something like that. Well, what was it? they reek of awesomeness. Yeah, they reek of awesomeness. So I thought he was gonna use the word awesome. I would have popped for that because that's my last name, awesome. I would have popped for that. But yeah. So Christian Cage is challenging for the championship for Kenny Omega's World Championship. So yeah, at first, man, when he first came in, we thought that they were gonna push him towards the World Championship, and he's gotten wins, but I don't know. I don't know if I would have put him after the World Championship. I really don't know. I'll build him up first. I'll send him after the TNT Championship because he has a better chance at winning the TNT Championship. Not right now he don't. Not right now he don't. But then he did. The champion at the time was Darby Allin. I think when he first came in, the champion at the time was Darby Allin, so he probably would have had a better chance at beating Darby for it. I don't know. Probably. I think yeah, he probably would have had a better chance at beating Darby. But Kenny Omega, man, he is not beating Kenny Omega. The only that belongs to Page, man. That belongs to Page. So he's gonna go up against Omega and he's gonna lose. So yeah, so that was it with that. Christian Cage is the new number one contender. Since Page cannot challenge for the championship and he was the number one contender. And so yeah, man, so that was it with that. Right after that, we had the NWA Women's Eliminator Championship match. Not championship match, but the NWA Eliminators match. So whoever won this match, it would have been the number one contender for the NWA Women's Championship. And so yeah, we had the Bunny with the Hardy Family Office in her corner versus legit Layla Hirsch with the Best Friends and Chris Statlander in her corner. So yeah, man, I did not care about this match. I really didn't, man. Like most of the stuff on this show, it was just boring, man. Like yeah, we had a tope suicida to Bunny, and she did not hit the tope suicida all the way. She did not get all of her. And so Hirsch went right after the Bunny's arm. We had a backstabber to Hirsch, a shotgun dropkick to Hirsch into the barricade. And then a Bunny, she had stared at Camille. So Camille, she is the NWA Women's Champion in NWA. So yeah, so Camille was sitting in the crowd with the championship and all that stuff. And so the Bunny started staring at Camille. And so, yeah, the Bunny, she took control of the match during a commercial break, picture in picture, of course. We had a superplex to the Bunny, and we had German suplexes to the Bunny, and we had a knee strike to the Bunny. And so we had a super kick to Hirsch, followed up by a Death Valley driver to Hirsch, and she kicked out. And so to end the match, we had Layla Hirsch, she locked in a cross armbar to the Bunny to win the match, so the Bunny taps out. So therefore, Layla Hirsch wins the match and is the new number one contender for Camille's NWA Women's Championship. And so yeah, so right after that, we had Camille. She went inside the ring, and she towered right over Layla Hirsch. She towered her. Since Layla Hirsch is short, and so Camille, she towered her, absolutely towered her. And so yeah, so it's gonna be Camille versus Layla Hirsch, legit Layla Hirsch. They might do it at that all women show that they have in NWA Empower. So yeah, that was it with that. Because for that show, it's gonna be all women's wrestlers from all different promotions. Gonna be on that NWA Empower show, or the 28th, I believe it is on the 28th. Yeah, 28th. That's a Saturday. So yeah, so right after that, we have Mark Sterling, or Smart Mark Sterling, and Jade Cargill. So they were backstage. They talked about their brand, and that was it, man. In a gig, I guess, in Hollywood. They won a gig in Hollywood and all that stuff, and that was it. And so yeah, so before we get into the main event, let's talk about next week's show. Let's talk about next week's show. So yeah, so yeah, first off, we found out who the announce team was for Rampage. So we have a 4-person announce team for Rampage. Why so many commentators? I don't know. Three should be the most. But yeah, I would normally go with 2. I normally would go with 2. But if you want to add a third person, you can. But 4 people, man, on a commentary table, no, that's way too many commentators. So yeah, so we have Taz, Excalibur, Chris Jericho, Le Champion, and Mark Henry, the world's strongest man. So that's the Rampage announce team. And so Rampage, of course, is next week, next Friday. And it starts at 9 Central, 10 Eastern, 9 Central. And so yeah, so also next week we have the 5 Labors of Jericho, Chapter 4. And MJF is at ringside. Wait, I thought he was the referee though. Or is he at ringside? Say he was at ringside. A person that's gonna call it down the middle. I thought he was the referee. But yeah, so MJF he's gonna be there at ringside, and it's gonna be Chris Jericho versus Wardlow next week. And so yeah, that's the 4th chapter of Jericho, Labors of Jericho, chapter 4. And also we have Nyla Rose with Vicky Guerrero in her corner versus Chris Statlander with Orange Cassidy in her corner. So that's next week. And so also next week we have the Impact World Tag Team Championship match. So it's going to be the Good Brothers. That's Doc Gallows and Karl Anderson. We will be defending their Impact World Tag Team Championships against Evil Uno and Stu Grayson representing the Dark Order. So that's next week too. And so yeah, now they want to feature the Impact World titles on Dynamite, defending the championships. I would have loved to see Violent by Design on AEW Dynamite when they were the champions. But yeah, that's a different story though. And so also we have at the on the Road Rager, not Road Rager, on the Rampage show next week, next Friday is going to be Dr. Britt Baker D.M.D, who is the AEW Women's World Champion, with Rebel in her corner versus Red Velvet next Friday for the AEW Women's World Championship. And so yeah, man, that's it for the Rampage show and next week's show. And so yeah, man, so right after that was the main event. And so the main event, it was Malaki Black versus the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, with Dustin Rhodes in his corner. And so yeah, so Black came out first. I love the entrance, man, when the lights kept going off and all that stuff, like turning pitch black and all that. And the mask, that skull mask that he had, I liked that. That was really cool. And so yeah, so it's like Malaki Black, he didn't get a full entrance. Like right after his during his entrance, he got a commercial break. So I didn't like that part. Didn't like it. So yeah, so when Cody music played, I did hear some boos, man. I heard some boos in that arena. So yeah, so we had a holy chant from the crowd, and the match didn't even start yet. And so we had Cody Rhodes, not Cody Rhodes, we had Malaki Black, he kicked Cody Rhodes in the leg. And so we had a knee bar to Cody, and then Black went right after Cody's eye. So Cody, he tried to go for the figure 4 leg lock, but Black had caught him in the eye, raked the eyes. And so we had a Malaki chant from the crowd. So this crowd was pro Black, or pro Malaki. And so yeah, so Malaki Black, he kicked Cody Rhodes off of the top rope, and then Cody Rhodes, he went through the table that was outside of the ring. So that was a really nice spot. And so Cody Rhodes made it back into the ring at 9. So he almost got counted out. And so to end the match, man, we had a Black mask to Cody Rhodes to win the match. So Black, he had the Black mask and he pinned Cody Rhodes with 1 foot. And so that was it. So the match ended quickly. So yeah, so Malaki Black wins the match. And so right after the match, we had Tony Schiavone. He tried to interview Cody Rhodes. I don't know why. We tried to interview him after a match. He just got his freaking ass handed to him, man, by Malaki Black. I don't know why we try to interview him. And so yeah, so Cody Rhodes, he talked about his family legacy and all that stuff. And so yeah, he was talking about his family legacy and his family history. And yeah, we heard the crowd. Like I did hear the crowd start chanting the goodbye song. Na 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 na. Hey hey hey, goodbye to Cody Rhodes. And so yeah, that chant died down a little bit, but I did hear it. And so Cody Rhodes, he did mention WWE without mentioning him by name. He said that they fired him, or he fired them. They didn't fire him. He fired them. And so he went somewhere else and made a name for himself and decided to start AEW with his friends, Kenny and the Bucks. And so he talked about people laughing at them on the idea of starting a wrestling company. And so he said that AEW is competition. And so Cody Rhodes, he says that there's no better place. There's no better place. And so Cody, he thanks the fans. And so Cody, he took off his boots. And so when you take off your boots and you lay in the ring, that's a signal that you're retiring. And so yeah, so he took off the boot. He took off this boot and he put it in the ring. And so Malaki Black, he came out of nowhere and hit blasted Cody Rhodes from behind with that crutch. And so the crutch that Cody had earlier. And so yeah, so that was it with that, man. That was it. The promo was long-winded. It was kind of long-winded, but Black hit him with that crutch in the back, and that was it, man. Match was very short, bro. It was very short and sweet. Very one hell of a debut for Malaki Black, bro. For his first match in Dynamite, one hell of a match, and he won in quick fashion too. Quick fashion. The same way that Brody Lee won. You know when when Brody Lee when he won the TNT Championship, that quickly, man, it was shocking. It was shocking. But this match right here, I don't know why people were shocked. I don't know if they were shocked that he beat Cody Rhodes that quickly, or were they shocked that he won or he beat Cody. But yeah, man. Yeah, but that it reminded me of the Brody Lee stuff when Brody Lee beat Cody Rhodes, beat the hell out of him, and won the TNT Championship. And right after the match, he poured they had like pieces of the old TNT Championship, and he poured it all over Cody Rhodes. He hit him with the bag first. He hit him with the bag, and he laid out Cody Rhodes in the middle of on the stage, and he poured the TNT Championship pieces, the old championship pieces, all over Cody Rhodes. Dude, that was freaking awesome, dude. That was freaking awesome. Like the way that Brody Lee won that TNT Championship, that was freaking awesome, dude. And so yeah, man, this is the same thing. This is the same way, but it wasn't as big when Brody did it, man. So yeah, but that was it with that, man. So yeah, so we might be seeing a rematch with these two, probably at All Out. I probably would have saved it for All Out. I probably wouldn't have put it on this show. I would have saved it for All Out on a bigger stage, and plus Black, it would have been his first match, and then the company, so I would have built it up towards All Out, you know. But we will be getting the match anyway. But yeah, I hope Cody Rhodes don't win. I hope he doesn't win. Like Cody, man, he been putting himself over a lot, bro. Like a lot. That's why a lot of people are booing him. That's why a lot of people don't want to see him anymore. But I think, yeah, Cody, he will be taking time off, either right now or right after All Out. So he could be home with his daughter. And so yeah, man. So that was it with that, man. That was it with the show. It was okay. It wasn't all that good. It wasn't exciting that much. It really wasn't that exciting. The only thing that was exciting was the Black and Cody match. That's the only thing that was exciting. Now we did have some good matches on the show. That 6-man trios tag team match was really good in the beginning. But yeah, man, that was it with the show, man. That was it. So yeah, if you guys like this video, man, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that, the subscribe button is a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you're the first ones to know my next video is uploaded, because I'm here each and every single week, man. So make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell for all notifications. And yeah, man, and I'll see you guys for Thursday for Impact Wrestling. See you guys for Impact Wrestling. And so yeah, this is the Impact Wrestling right after Homecoming. So we'll see what happened. Of course, Deonna Purrazzo and Matthew Raywalt won the Homecoming King and Queen of the Homecoming in Impact Wrestling. So we'll see what happens next with them. And so yeah, man, I'll see you guys for Impact Wrestling for tomorrow on Thursday. And if you missed my last week's review for Dynamite, the video is gonna be right up here in this corner, and the link to that video will be down below in the description, man. So make sure you either click up here or click down there in the link below in the description. And yeah, man, and once again, guys, thank you for the support. Thank you for the love and the support for the show. Thank you, and thank you, man. And this has been the Ryan Awesome Show. Take care, stay safe, and don't forget to be awesome. And that's that.